The second advisory council meeting to be held in Providenciales was greeted by members of the local media again, asking the governor and his now 6-member advisory council team a host of questions and reveal some interesting bits of information along the way. Today, the public learned that none of the $85 million loan, which was highly publicized, has been drawn down, and in fact, the deal is not even completely signed.
Unfortunately, I cannot say that we have signed the loan or have any drawdown, but I'm very confident that we should be concluding that loan very shortly. And as we indicated at the last press conference, once we have done that, we will be communicating to you the conditions and terms and other information related to the loans. I'm sorry I cannot say we have done that, but certainly I'm very confident that we will be doing that very shortly.
It was during the press conference that the governor also made it clear that despite rumors of a further pay cut to civil servants' salaries, he assured the public that this is not the case and, in fact, wants to boost the civil service.
Well, I mean, I can say that there are no, sort of plans for, for further cuts in public salary wages. But as you also know, I think that it is one of the, medium-term objectives to right-size the public service. I mean, this is, by definition, almost a much longer-term process, which needs to be done properly if it's to be effective. It includes a lot of work on retraining people, trying to sort of find alternative employments for those who are for whom there's no longer a place, if you like, in the public service. It also involves strengthening the public service in certain areas. So, I mean, that should be a 2 or 3 year program at least, I would imagine.
With the talk of elections in the air, not only in Great Britain on May 6th, but also scheduled for the TCI by summer of next year, the governor hinted that it may take a bit longer than anticipated to hold general elections in 2011.
The objective is to have those elections taking place here in July of next year. But that, would be on the basis that the adequate, foundations in terms of possible revision of the Constitution, of the enactment of the appropriate legislation, the general reform process is in place to provide the necessary confidence, really, for all the relevant audiences, which would be the Turks and Caicos Islands themselves here in the UK and in the international community, that those the key problems identified in the old report, those for which the Ordering Council was instituted in the first place, have been put right, and the appropriate checks and balances are there.
One of the more talked about issues during the day was in relation to a News 4 story last night about a so-called hazard allowance for British diplomats in the TCI, which seemed like an unfair labeling to the country by residents.
It's not a TCIG allowance, I fear, in this case, but it is an allowance that's paid by the Foreign Office or other British government departments for personnel who are overseas. I think as the name suggests, it's paid particularly in what are known as hardship posts. I mean, Benedict Mann, who's sitting behind you here, is soon to go to Afghanistan, so he'll be getting a decent hardship allowance now. But it's a figure that is determined, I think, by an external company that's engaged to look at these things. Sorry. Well, I'm not sure that I've actually got a hardship allowance. We have what we call an overseas allowance that looks at a number of aspects. Including things like sort of distance from the FCO, the need to compensate for the need to essentially manage two accommodations, one in the posting, one back at home.
The governor also talked about today's Advisory Council meeting, which had reached halfway status before the press briefing.
Today's meeting, I mean, so far we've had sessions, in fact, on waste management in preparation for a paper which we expect to take next week, and for a discussion also in the consultative forum, so that we can soon come to a clear outcome on the way forward on waste management. We've also had a discussion with Kate Sullivan, who's been engaged by the FCO on constitutional and electoral reform work, and she'll be, as I say, going on from here to talk to the consultative forum to see how she can work with them on this particular project. We'll be continuing, obviously, after this this meeting with other issues.
We'll have more from this news conference in a subsequent newscast.